Welcome back to the Power of One Voice, where truth is honored, healing is sacred, and every story reminds us that strength can rise from the darkest places. Today, we sit with a woman whose journey cuts deep: childhood sexual trauma, addiction, abandonment, and the heartbreak of losing her father to violence. Her life has been anything but easy, but her courage is unmatched. She did the hard work. She fought her way back towards peace. She learned to breathe again, to pray again, and to trust her own voice. And on the 1 year anniversary of her father's murder, she did something many never get the strength to do. She got sober. Her mission now is simple and powerful. Even if one piece of her story can help someone feel less alone, she's willing to speak it. This is a story of survival, honesty, and hope. This is one voice changing everything. Welcome in, Melly.
Hey,
Take a deep breath. Okay,
I'm so nervous.
I understand. When you think back to your childhood, what's the earliest moment where you remember your innocence being taken?
I was 5.
How did that sexual trauma shape the way you saw yourself growing up?
I went from feeling like a girl to feeling like I had to hide everything. I went from wearing little girl clothes to wearing baggy boy clothes. I didn't want to show myself. I felt dirty and unwanted, unloved because nobody believed me. I told the person that should have believed me but did not. I was lying to get attention, so I was told.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was told I was having a dream.
Yeah, I woke up at 5 years old, my mom's second husband, without my underpants. I was 5.
Mm.
I have an earlier memory than that, but it wasn't a bad one, you know. But that's the earliest traumatic memory that I have. And I was told that I was lying to get attention, that I probably took them off myself. Um, I don't know, just kind of like that.
Okay. Um, were there adults you wish you would have protected you?
My mom.
Nobody else?
If my dad was there, then my dad, but my dad was not there at the moment. So if we take it back a little further, my parents split up when I was 3.
Okay.
They divorced when I was 3. I should have went immediately with my dad, but I didn't. My dad decided he was going to get himself together and try to get sober. When him and my mom split up, he did not reach that goal until I was about 7 years old. So from 3 to 7, I was with my mom, and my dad was busy trying to get his life together, and I completely understand that. Um, so
Now, as an adult, you understand it. Did you
yeah,
understand it as a child?
no. As a child, I felt like he abandoned me.
Okay.
So, and then the one person that was there that should have protected me didn't.
Yeah.
Um, Hold on, somebody asked me to share it to them.
Okay. I'm gonna mute for just 1 second.
Okay, I'm back.
What did the silence feel like for you as a child?
Torture,
Okay.
torture, not being heard. I felt as though I wasn't seen. There was no emotions taught as a child. It
Mm.
was either like you're here to be seen, not heard, or get out of adult business, stay in your own business. You're a child, stay in a child's place. Things like that.
I think a lot of us who were sexually assaulted at a young age, we definitely that's just their MO. Like you're a kid, shut your
Hmm.
mouth. You're to be seen and not heard for sure. Um,
Right.
what did you learn about love and safety from those early experiences?
I learned that it was non-existent. I didn't
Okay.
feel safe until I was about 7.5. And that was my first bit of safety that I felt. And that's when my dad finally got clean and he took me from my mom.
How was that?
Um, Scary. It was scary to see anything out of our norm. Our norm for that, whole period of my life was chaos and drama and you're here to be seen, not heard type. And then I get with my dad and he's willing to hear me out and he wants to know how I'm feeling. And I had no ways to express that because I wasn't taught that.
Right.
I was taught that if you're hurting, oh well, go to your room. If you're not bleeding, you're not broken, I don't want to hear it.
Mm, okay. I think that was one of all parents. You're not bleeding, you're not dying, you're fine.
Uh, I'm guilty of the same thing with mine
Right,
to an extent.
right. So when did the drugs first enter your life?
Oh, so me personally, I didn't do any drugs at all until I was 31,
Okay.
but the drugs were in my life prior to that because both of my parents were addicts. My dad decided to take the road of getting clean and sober when my mom did not. My mom continued up until about 4 years ago, maybe 5. She might have 5 years clean.
Wow. Um, what were you trying to escape or numb when you started using?
Feelings, all feelings. I didn't want to feel sad. I didn't want to feel happy. I didn't want to feel anything. I just wanted to be completely numb because happiness for me came with toxicity.
Pain.
It always came with some kind of pain. Anytime I wanted to be happy or I chose to be happy or I felt any kind of happiness, right behind it was some kind of pain.
Right. And shame and guilt, I'm
Yes.
assuming. Did you ever recognize the moment when addiction stopped being a choice and started becoming survival?
I don't think so. I don't think I recognized those moments at all until after I got clean. And I really had
Okay.
to dig deep for those because I can remember saying over and over and over again, this is a choice. I just want to be numb right now. And when I'm done being numb, I'll quit. Um, I can remember saying that so many different times. And then I didn't realize that, I don't know when it switched, but it became a daily thing that if I didn't get high, then I couldn't breathe. I didn't feel like I could get out of bed. I couldn't do anything. Like the first thing I did when I opened my eyes after 6 or 7 days of being up was, oh, I got to get high now.
Wow. What was your drug of choice?
Methamphetamines.
Mine was cocaine. What did addiction cost you emotionally?
Everything. Everything. It costed me everything. It costed me relationships with my children, emotionally, physically, verbally. They wouldn't speak to me. So it costed me everything. It has taken me, um, it took me about 18 months to start actually feeling real feelings again after I got clean.
Were you afraid
You
of them?
know, yes. And still, I still struggle. I still struggle with believing that anybody really cares.
Mm.
Um, and that's just the honest, truth
Yeah,
there. I don't know how else to explain it, but I have a hard time just believing that when somebody says that they care, it's just okay.
yeah,
Um, very few people have actually proved that. So
right,
it's like I was told that I was loved as a child every once in a while, but that you see how that turned out.
right.
One person that should have protected me didn't. And and I can't, as an adult, I cannot blame them because they were an addict as well. And
Yeah,
an addict's mind is completely different from somebody who's completely sane.
yeah.
The insanity of addiction is crazy. It'll make a human do things that they would have never done sober. So,
Um, did you ever question yourself, like for me, what I questioned myself, like I felt like because my parents were addicts, they didn't give me the tools to be a parent, and I had to learn how to do that on my own. Did you ever feel that way? Like,
so the motherly part of it, yes. I felt like I was not given the tools to be a mother,
mhm,
but I was taught how to be a father, if that
okay,
makes any sense.
it does.
Like I had no problem disciplining my kids, keeping them, in school or keeping their grades up, taking them once a week or once every 2 weeks when we got paid to go do stuff, this or that. But I wasn't very good at the nurturing part.
Mm,
And the listening, I was not perfect at. I tried. I did the best that I knew to do, but it wasn't great.
right.
And because of my lack of knowledge, my children suffered for it.
Um, did I ask you what's the hardest truth you had to face about yourself?
Mm, you didn't, but I don't.
So the question's, what's the hardest truth you had to face about yourself during that time?
That I had no control
Okay.
when I
Nope.
thought I was in control of it.
Mm, yeah. I can remember a time I'm walking down the street like, I'm that shit. And then when I look back at the pictures in that time, I'm like, oh my God, what? It was
Yeah,
all,
I used to
yeah,
think so highly of myself because I was 140 pounds and I just, I was so, I finally looked good. Girl, no, I didn't.
yeah,
No, I didn't. I looked
I get it.
horrible. I looked horrible. I looked sick.
I get
I
it.
looked like I had given up on life.
Like death walking.
Hmm.
We're going to move on to abandonment and relationships. How did abandonment show up in your relationship as an adult?
Um, it still does. And I'm trying to work on that. I'm really trying to, but I cling really tight to anybody who shows me any kind of affection.
Okay.
And sometimes it's the wrong people. They'll show it in the beginning and then turn out to be a completely different person, but I don't see that. I wind up
Right.
not seeing that because I longed for that relationship. And the relationship that I had with my father, although he was like the best man I knew, he wasn't very good at emotional things either. He would listen to me and talk to me about my feelings, but he wasn't a very affectionate person.
Right.
So, like me hugging my kids as they were growing up and telling them how much I loved them, I didn't get that
Yeah.
as a child at all.
Boy, did we have the same parents?
Probably, but I don't know. My dad was an amazing man. Like, he would have never harmed me. Yeah, he whooped my tail, but I probably deserved that. you
Yeah.
know? But as far as, abuse, no, absolutely not, never. Um, he saved me from as much abuse as he possibly could. But there would be times that my mom would come take me and hold me hostage until my dad paid.
Mm,
My dad paid child support on me and my little sister our entire lives, and he had custody of me most of the time.
wow.
Hmm.
Did trauma change the way you allowed people to treat you?
Yes.
How so?
I've allowed people to walk all over me, to take whatever they want to take from me, and not really do anything about it, not stand up for myself. Because I feel like if it takes me giving this person this or that, or this is the only way to get that love and connection, they have to be able to give them something. And yeah, so it's got me all twisted and messed up.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, anytime you need to take a break and step off camera, just take a breath. Feel free.
I'm just shaking,
I
but
can
I'm
tell,
okay.
and that's why I said what I said because I can
I'm
tell.
okay.
I've done this enough that I can tell. um, what patterns did you notice in the people you chose?
Oh, I still do this like to this day, but I'm so grateful that today I can say I've got some really amazing people on my side that stop me from doing the dumb shit. So, like, I don't know, I let people use me for everything that I have. And like, I noticed growing up, as kind as my dad was, he did the same thing.
Mm,
He helped and helped and helped and helped until he couldn't help anymore. And
wow.
yeah, when he got to the point that he couldn't help, then those people were no longer there.
Okay.
And I've
Um,
seen the same patterns in my life.
Similar patterns throughout your whole life.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, what did you believe you deserved back then when you were using?
Nothing.
Mm. Is that hard to face now?
No, not really. I've done a lot of work on myself, and
Mhm.
I went from not being able to look in the mirror at myself to being able to look in the mirror and know that I deserve more than I gave myself, more than I allowed people to give me.
Okay. Fair. That's fair. Fair. When did you realize that you actually deserved more?
Um, Probably about a year ago,
Mm,
and it was a lot of therapy work.
okay.
Probably the same day I looked in the mirror for the first time.
What'd you see when you looked in the mirror?
Heartache. Um, I seen beauty that I hadn't seen in years.
How'd that make you feel?
Nervous,
Scared?
scared.
Why?
I need a minute.
Yes, man.
I'm still here. I just can't be on camera for a minute.
You're fine. Just take a breath. Put on
Oh,
teacup. You want to pause? That's fine. I'll talk
no,
to the
no,
chat.
it's fine.
These are the hard truths, guys, that we deal with. So many
Um,
of us. Go ahead.
huh, I can't.
You're fine. Just turn your teacup on. Like I said, I'll go ahead and talk to the chat for a while, and then when you come back, we'll start again. As I was saying, these are the hard truths that we deal with when it comes to our trauma. During these hard times, we are raised to think that we shouldn't speak about it. It's taboo. Um, and the lasting effects that it has on us as adults in our relationships with our spouses, our relationships with our children, and sometimes it trickles into our grandchildren. Vulnerability is a strength because it takes a strong person to come up here and speak their truth. if there's anybody in the chat that would like to share their truth, I do have a link tree in the bio. Um, there's a questionnaire in there that you can fill out and feel free to tell your story. So many of us fear it because it does make us vulnerable.
All right, I'm good.
You good, Mama?
Yeah, it's just hard to talk about. That's all.
I know. I know.
Oh, you get that lump in your throat?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I need to pause for 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. I had a screaming baby.
All right, so back to where we were.
Yeah. When did you realize you deserved more?
Probably, like I said, a year ago.
Okay.
And then when I looked in the mirror for the first time. And I think the hardest part of looking in the mirror for me was finally seeing the beauty that other people seen. Like, I could be told a million times, hey, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But it took until that moment to actually believe it. And I
Right.
still struggle with that. It's not 100. I'm not all the way there. I'm healing, not healed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. We're going to move on to another subject, and I know this is probably going to be a little bit more harder for you. So if you need to take a break after every question, feel free to. Okay.
All right.
The murder of your father.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little backstory first.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a backstory about my dad, and then I'm going to give you a backstory about me at that time.
Okay.
Um, Backstory about my dad. He had been seeing the same girl for about 10 years. She was a lot younger than him, but he believed that she could get better, she could get sober, she could get clean, and he believed that he could help her. He loved her with all his heart. He did everything he possibly could for her. And he let her live with him. He bought her a car. He paid for her rehab. He paid for her schooling so she could go back to school. Like, he did everything he could to help this girl. Backstory about me. I had gotten sober for the first time. And I had moved here to Mississippi where I'm at now. And I was working a job. I had just bought a truck. I was doing really good, like really good for myself. And I just talked to my dad. I told him I was making plans to come see him for Father's Day. May 16th, 2022. I get a call from my sister. I've called Dad twice and he hasn't answered. Have you been able to call him? I called. He didn't answer, which was unusual because anytime me or my sister called my dad, he answered. Hold on. Just shake it off. Okay.
I'm sorry. This is kind of
I know.
that part really, really resonated with me.
It does.
And
It does.
because my husband was in the same situation, helping a girl, trying to get her clean, and called me 7 hours before he passed away. So it's kind of really hit home, and I haven't cried about that in months, and it just really struck me. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. Let it out. So
Now we're just gonna be a bunch of babbling fools up here.
I asked my sister to go check the door and see if it was open. She said it was cracked. I said that's unusual. My dad never leaves his door open or unlocked. I said, well, this is probably going to be the hardest part, but you're going to have to go in and check on him. We were worried. He had prior heart problems. He He had a pacemaker put in. He had a quadruple bypass a couple of years before, and the pacemaker was barely renewed, maybe 2 months prior. She walks in the door, and the way the house was set up, from the front door, you could see the hallway to the bedrooms through the kitchen.
Mhm.
She said she's seen him laying in the floor. She was scared to go in because there was blood on his face. So I said, immediately call 911. She called 911. They came out. He died May 16th, 2022, somewhere around 1 o'clock in the morning. He was shot 5 times. The first shot killed him in the neck.
So sorry.
So the other 4 shots were unnecessary, but they happened anyway. Once in the stomach, twice in the leg, once in the groin. This is hard. The cops didn't want to do their job. I'm going to try to breathe through this, okay? And just,
Babe, if you want to take a break, take a break.
No, I have to get through this. I love you too. The cops didn't want to do their job. It had been 24 hours and they still didn't have a suspect. So I said, fine. Okay. Give me 24 hours and you'll know who did it, when they did it, and how they did it. They gave me 24 hours and they had all that information. Don't mess with the girl and her daddy. I'm just saying. I told them who it was. They went to go pick him up on a warrant that they had for him for domestic abuse. And he pulled my dad's gun out on them. So therefore he died by suicide. What does it say? What do they say?
Cops, yeah, suicide by cop.
Suicide by cop, yeah. So I didn't get to question him. Why? So I dug deeper. He had beat the girl up. That was her dope dealer. She ran to my dad's house. That dude had been driving up and down my dad's street for the 2 weeks prior to that, shooting off a gun, warning shots. My dad called the police, told the police about it, told them who he was. The police did nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing. There's just empty reports sitting on their desk. They did nothing about it. They didn't investigate, none of that. So I feel like if they would have done their job, my dad would still be alive. So in my mind, it's the girl's fault. She was charged with nothing.
Wow.
They probably died, but they and the news reports on it don't even have my dad's name. They just have the guy who shot him's name and a very generic report that he was involved in a murder. Not even my dad's name in the news report. The guy's name was Samuel Frias. The girl's name, Erica Hernandez.
Are you okay?
Yep.
It's okay to cry.
I wasn't done needing him. Shit. All right, let me get it together.
Okay.
Yeah, so she took something from me that day. A piece of me is missing. And then I can't help but feel bad for my sister who found him. And all of his grandkids that are going to miss out on that. His great-grandson that was born and he didn't get to meet him. But his great-grandson is named after him. So, yeah. And just for reference here, this is my dad. Let's see if we can block that.
Yeah, I see him.
Just the sweetest guy. Always in church. Always doing what he thought was the best thing or the right thing. Always willing to help somebody, no matter the cost. Just an altogether good guy. And always thought he didn't do enough.
Hmm.
Okay. We can move on.
What was your relationship like with him before he passed away?
I wouldn't say estranged, but somewhere around there. It wasn't the best. It wasn't like it had been prior to me going wild. When I was off doing drugs or whatever, I didn't really make time for him. And I had just gotten sober, I think, January, February, March, April, May, 4 months before that. So we had just gotten to the point where I was calling him every other day, and my sister was calling him on the opposite days. So if he wasn't talking to me that day, he was talking to my sister. We were finally getting back to a place that was good. Yeah,
Do you want to hear something ironic?
sure.
My husband's birthday is May 12th. My anniversary with my husband is May 16th,
I love that.
1991. Um, okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. How did his murder change the way you saw life?
It made me feel like if I cared about anybody, and I mean even in the slightest, I needed to let them know. So if I tell you I love you, I mean it. I mean it from deep down in my soul. I don't need to hear it back, but I need you to know that I love you. I don't want to leave this world with anybody questioning that. Especially my kids.
Right.
I talk to them every day now because I got clean. So, and speaking of his murder, I made it until right after his funeral, sober. Right after that, I decided to go on a downward spiral. I wanted to be numb again. I needed to not feel those feelings. And I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but this is what I chose. And it brought me to where I'm at today, so I'm not mad about it. I went downhill pretty fast. So when I first started using, when I was 31, I gradually worked up to using a needle. I gradually worked up to that. This time around, there was no gradual. It was straight to it. And I did worse in those. 10 months. I had to count the months, I'm sorry. And those 10 months, I did worse than all the other years that I used. And on March 6th of 2023, I wound up in prison behind my use. They caught me with 3 ounces, some Xanax, some weed, some all the paraphernalia you could possibly think of. It was there, and 3 pew-pews, because I don't know if I can say those on here. Kind of cold. But yeah, they charged me with 6 felonies.
Wow.
My public defender told me not to worry, that they would lower my bond. It was $170,000. My public defender kept telling me not to worry, that they were going to lower my bond. The lowest it got was to $150,000. And then she said, "Well, maybe we can get you out on a rehab bond." I said, "Okay, well, we'll see how this works." They told me that I would be out on May 3rd. So I was like, all right, cool. I get to be out. I get to be out of here before that 1-year anniversary comes up, and I won't be alone, right? Because I went to prison in Louisiana. I have no family in Louisiana. I don't know anybody out there. So in my head, I'm all alone. And hold on, I gotta get a jacket. I'm freezing. I don't know why I'm so cold. Probably because I'm crying.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So May 3rd came around, and mind you, I was still using while I was in prison. They're easier to get in there than they are on the streets. I'm just saying. May 3rd rolled around. They didn't let me out. The guards and all kept telling me I was lying about this or lying about that, and I was just telling them what my public defender told me. So that rolled around, and then it just days went so slow. And here comes the anniversary of my dad's death, May 16th. I woke up that morning alone. I felt alone. And I prayed. And I talked to God, and I told God, I was like, what do I have to do? What do I need to do? I said, from this day forward, I will never use again. So let that be my sober date. Let that be a good day instead of a bad one.
I'm gonna mute. I gotta go check on the kids. I'm gonna leave you.
You're
You
good.
just keep talking.
By the 22nd or 23rd, I was out of prison and in a rehab, a 28-day program. I thought that I was on a detainer, I guess is what they call it, where you're detained to that place and that place only. And I was like, okay, I'm here. I can't leave. I have to do this. I have to put in the work, whatever. But I really wasn't too, I wasn't enthused about it at all. I was not enthused about being in rehab. I wasn't enthused about being in a state that I had no family or friends or anyone. So I was like, let me just breeze through this because it got me out of jail, right? Let me just breeze through this and get it over with. 2 weeks into the program, I found out that I was not on a detainer, that I could have left at any point in time. But all the knowledge that I had gotten within those 2 weeks, it really resonated with me. It was something, that changed inside of me that said, maybe this program is for you. Maybe it will help you. So by the time those 28 days were over, they asked me, did I want to go to a sober living or if I wanted an extended program? And I said, honestly, I don't feel like 28 days is enough for me. I used for longer than 28 days. And I believe, it takes more than 28 days to heal. So I decided to go to an extended program, and I spent 90 days in the next one. I graduated both of those programs. And then from there, I went to sober living, spent about 5 months there. And then I finally started living on my own after that, but still in the state of Louisiana because I was on probation. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to think. Went through a few different cars, a few different jobs. And so finally, I was carless and jobless and really wanted to get home to my family. Got tired of being on probation. And September 3rd, they let me off of probation. And I came back home to my family. So here I am.
So we're gonna skip the next two questions because you've answered those.
My
Um,
bad.
no, you're perfectly fine. I like when people sometimes get into that. I think it helps. Do you feel like there's been closure, or do you think you're still healing?
No. I don't know that there will ever be closure.
Okay.
I don't believe that everybody gets closure. And I like, how do you really get closure from somebody taking somebody from you?
Right.
Um, I try to place it in my mind that everybody has an expiration date. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter who we are, we all have an expiration date, no matter how you go. I had to put it in my head that that was the day and the time that my dad was supposed to go. Otherwise, he would have survived it. Um, people have been shot multiple times and survived it.
Right.
But yeah, I had to believe that.
Okay.
I think I'm still trying to make myself believe that.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
So, what was the hardest part of detoxing emotionally?
Being alone,
Mm, okay.
being alone because I had ruined every relationship, every single relationship. I couldn't call on my dad, he wasn't there anymore. And that was my go to anytime anything happened,
Right.
regardless of what it was. I could call my dad and he would be there. Um, my mom wasn't really talking to me. My kids definitely didn't want to hear from me. Um, I was alone. There was like all the so called friends that I had disappeared when I went to prison.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
So, who did you have to walk away from to stay sober?
everyone. Everyone that I knew back home. So originally I'm from Houston. All right. I got caught up in Louisiana and all my family moved to Mississippi.
Mm,
So anybody I knew in Houston, I had to walk away from them
wow.
because to me, that was all a part of a life I was trying to leave behind.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily say something about each person that I walked away from. It says something about me. And I had to exclude everyone outside of my children for a long time. If it wasn't my children, I didn't really talk to anyone.
How's that now for you?
Um, I talked to a few people. I'm very cautious about who I allow in my circle. Um, I
Thank
don't
you.
allow myself to be in places where people are doing the things I used to do or acting the way I used to act. Um, I can handle it for a moment, but I have to walk away from it. And I don't think it's because I want to use. I think it's because I don't want to see myself
Mm,
in those
okay.
people. But the relationship with my children is wonderful. I think it's better now than it ever has been.
That's amazing. The kids are the important ones.
Yeah. I have a relationship with my grandmother now that I did not have before, ever. Um,
Awesome.
I have a relationship with my sister again. I have a relationship with my mother. It's still in the works, but um, I had to really, really set boundaries for myself and follow through. And that was my problem early in recovery, is not setting those boundaries, because I grew up in a world where boundaries were not discussed. They were not a
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Oh, yeah. What tools have helped you the most? Breathing, meditation, prayer, journaling?
I'm not a big writer, so actually putting pen to paper is very difficult for me. Unless I'm writing a letter to my dad, and that kind of helps.
I giggle because I do the same thing to my dad.
Yeah, as long as I can, I feel like I can talk to him through letters.
Yep.
Um, but
I, I
mostly,
t-
I guess prayer and meditation.
okay.
I learned, I learned meditation throughout the recovery journey. I don't believe that anyone should stay stagnant in recovery. That's my personal opinion. That's not a knock on any of the A's. You know, do you however you choose to, but I believe that it's a stepping stone. I don't believe that it's a forever thing. Um, because if you've got a program of recovery, where's the end? Where's the end game?
Right.
Do you ever recover? And some people will say yes, and some people will say no. I say yes. I
Fair
believe
enough.
that I have recovered from the disease of addiction. I still talk to people when I feel weak. I and I think that's like the biggest thing for me, is building those connections
Yeah.
with people who really understand where I've been or where I come from, or what I've been through, and being there for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has breathing exercises changed your ability to calm your mind?
Mm. I think before I just preferred the chaos because it was normal to me,
Okay.
and learning how to just sit back, breathe, and get through it. I don't know. It's just, look, I will pause. I'll be like, hey, wait, I'll be right back. I'll breathe about it, talk about it to God, meditate on it, and just really like focus.
First time you mentioned God throughout this, did he help you a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Um,
don't, I don't believe like most people believe.
right.
I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. There's a big difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, there is.
I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I don't believe in a man-made Bible.
Okay.
I
Fair
believe in
enough.
what it tells me so.
So what do you think you learned in the first 30 days of being sober?
Mm, not a lot.
Okay.
That withdrawals are not as bad as they, could have been.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably. I learned that I'm not the only one. There wasn't a lot that I learned in the first 30 days because it really wasn't enough for me. I learned a lot about the big book, the AA big book, mostly.
I think the fact that you can recognize that you needed that extra help, I mean, that just says a lot. Because a lot of people wouldn't have acknowledged that and said, no, I need more.
Yeah.
They would have just did the 30 days and got out and probably been back in 30 days.
Right.
Some may have not, but I think just the recognizing it, maybe that was what you needed for sure at the time. Um, what's one thing you're proud of in your healing journey?
Mm. My ability to walk away from people,
Mhm. Okay.
to just turn off that, because my heart still wants to help everybody.
Uh,
I still want to, but I'm finally able to walk away from something that's unhealthy for me,
okay.
for the most part. Now there are, I'm human, okay?
Right.
So I just, it's hard to let go of all toxicity.
Yeah, I get it. Purpose and sharing your story. At what point did you realize your story could help others?
Um, when I was listening in a meeting and somebody was talking about losing a parent, and it had been so recent for them, and they couldn't even speak about it without really breaking down, and they
Mhm.
felt so alone, and I felt their story like deep in my soul. I felt the feelings they were feeling, and I was like, wow, it really does make a difference to other people to be able to share your story and let people know that they're not alone.
Yes.
You're not going through this alone. There's people here that have been through these things and are going through these things, and there is a way out.
Yes. What's the biggest misconception about trauma survivors you want to break?
Mm. That trauma will always be a part of you, because no, it
Okay.
won't.
Okay.
It does not define me.
You don't think that you still carry it though?
Um, Not really. Not really. When I was able to really meditate on it and give that and take the power away from it. When you stop giving something power, it no longer defines you. It no longer holds you captive.
Okay.
So you
That's
just
fair.
let it go.
What do you hope someone feels when they hear your voice on here?
I hope that they feel calm. I hope that they feel hope. I hope that they feel like they're not alone.
Why do you think the community is important to people for healing?
Because you can't heal alone. You can't. No matter how you look at it, whether you believe in God or a higher power or just humanity alone, you still cannot heal alone. You, no. So it's very important to have, people who truly believe in you.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. What would you say to someone who feels utterly alone?
You're not alone. And if you want my number, I'll give it to you.
How
I've
has
got about 1,000 people that call my phone randomly,
same.
and it's fine. I don't care what time you call. If you are feeling alone and just need to talk and vent, I'm here.
So I don't
Because
know if you're I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't know if you're aware or not, but there's like a little bag on the bottom of the screen on your live.
no,
No, not in yours, in your live. Like it's not in your box right now. When you go live and you hit that bag, you can offer that service. That's what I do. If somebody hits that bag down there on the bottom right hand of the phone, um, my number will come up and they can call me when they need something.
okay.
But it will only show up. I think it only shows up when I'm live because I do offer that service.
I don't see a bag.
No, it won't be in. Okay, so when you're it's in the bottom of mine.
I don't
Like,
see it though.
okay, that's crazy. Oh, that's the wrong. Do you see the arrow?
Yeah.
Okay, that is the arrow. So if I pin this, right, and then I could put that up there, fill out the short form to learn more and stay in touch. It'll stay up there for like 1 minute.
Okay.
And then there's another one. I think this is service preview. It actually gives my contact, silence of one voice, and then you can actually leave me a message via that. And then,
Yeah. I got to
so
be
you,
super careful about just putting my phone number out there like that.
absolutely,
Like anybody who's feeling down or feeling lonely or just needing to talk or vent or whatever, message me.
right.
Message me. Leave a comment on one of my videos. I promise you, I will get back to you. I answer every single comment.
So how has owning your story changed your life?
It's allowed me to open my eyes to new beginnings
Okay.
and not dwell on things in the past. The past isn't here anymore. The future hasn't made it here. So right now, I'm going to live in the present. It's the present because it's a gift.
Amen. What does peace mean to you now?
Still working on that one.
Okay.
Um, Peace right now is being able to sit alone in a room with no sound whatsoever and be okay.
What part of your story still challenge you to speak out loud?
Mm. Anything to do with my dad,
Yeah.
whether it be good, bad, in between, because I feel like I broke the relationship between him and I. And in the midst of me trying to fix it, he's gone.
Right.
I don't feel like I got the chance to completely fix what I had broken.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard.
Hard to
And
say or hard to realize?
both. You don't think that it's really going to affect you that bad until you say it out loud.
Mhm.
But yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. My dad was my hero. He was my go to. Anytime I had any questions about anything, regardless if he had the answer, he'd find a way.
Right.
Um, and just knowing that that part of my life has come to a halt, it hurts.
Yeah. So if your younger self could hear you right now, what would you say to her?
I don't think I would talk at all. I think I would just hug her.
Don't go nowhere. That was the last question. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for showing up with us today. The story reminds us that healing isn't pretty, it's gritty. It's brave work that demands honesty, courage, and heart. To anyone listening who has survived trauma, addiction, abandonment, or the ache of losing someone violently, you're not alone. Your pain is real, but so is your strength. And your voice, it still matters. One voice can break silence, one voice can save a life, and one voice can change everything. I have some resources. Um, if anybody is struggling with suicide, it's the Sam Hassan National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. Um, National Suicide Lifeline at 988. RAIN, the Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-656-HOPE, HOPE. Find a local meeting for AA, NA, or Celebrate Recovery. And then there are free meditation apps for insight, timer, and calm. So, flag is out now.